Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Today we're gonna start with Task 2 preparation of the IELTS exam. But before that, let's get into an interesting topic. The title of the video suggests that this video is going to inform you about why people fail in IELTS. Well, the one main reason why they fail is Task 2. Once again, this video is being brought to you by HZad Education, one of the leading institutes in Canada for English teaching. We'll be providing some more details at the end of this video about our classes and how you could benefit from them. Now, why I bring my company in here is because as the business owner here and as a teacher who has been teaching IELTS for 15 plus years, the calls I get from the thousands of calls that I've gotten from students, I've noticed one thing that they always say. They will always tell me that, hey Sean, we passed in listening, reading, and listening. We got 7 and 8 and so on, but we failed in writing. We got 5. And this is a very bothersome thing, and I'm pretty sure many of you can relate to it. This is why we're gonna work on this today. But once again, let's try to understand why that happens. The first reason is, well, the main reason is actually Task 2 of IELTS. Task 2 writing contains it has approximately more than 60% of your marks. So a lot of what you write in Task 2 affects your writing. That is why it sometimes is the only reason why people would bring down their entire average just because of this. Now, there are many things on Task 2. Like if you go online, if you go through some books, there are dozens of examples of Task 2 that we'll see. However, what we do here in our institute is with thousands of students trying different things, we've seen many successes, we've seen many failures, we have learned many things from the examiners, and out of all of them, we have come up with a successful formula. And this formula is basically to divide the task 2 into 4 main types of questions. And these 4 questions are some things that I won't cover in this video today. Today I'm going to be covering the task 2 general structure. I'll tell you what I mean by that, but the remaining 4 structures would be for 4 different types of questions. There's descriptive, there's discuss both sides, etc. So we're going to touch on them on 4 other videos. However, for today, we're going to touch on the foundation of task 2. We're going to talk about the main criteria you need, and once you understand this, then you will understand the 4 other types of structures that we will be talking about very soon on our YouTube channel here. Once again, you subscribe to our channel, you will get all that content. So what's the purpose of this video and this learning today is to help you understand the Task 2 foundation. Let me give you an idea. Let's say you buy a home and the home is the main thing, right? You put the furniture next, but first you need to buy a home. So today we're gonna buy this home, and in the next 4 videos, we're gonna put the furniture in and make it complete for you. So let's understand task 2. 250 words minimum. You need to write between 250 and 270 words. The time limit you should ideally give this is 40 minutes. Divide that with 5 minutes of outline, 30 minutes of writing, and 5 minutes in the end for checking. Now, the structure contains of 4 main paragraphs: introduction, body 1, body 2, and the conclusion. So you guys can take out your notes and pens. Let's start with introduction. There are 3 main sentences that go into it and 1 optional sentence. So the first sentence is what we call a general sentence. Second sentence is opposing sentence. It's the opposing sentence. And the third sentence is your opinion. We'll talk about the fourth one later. So again, general sentence, opposing sentence, and your opinion. Let's say the topic we're going to talk about today is blood sports. It's one of the harder topics, so let's talk about that. Blood sports is killing animals for fun, like bullfighting, dogfighting, etc., which is, of course, unethical and it should be stopped, basically. It's a very common IELTS question. So let's say the question says blood sports is happening all over the world. Do you support it, and to what extent do you agree? So let's talk about this question. We're going to start with something very simple, which is why we call it a general sentence. In the general sentence, we might say blood sports is something that has been going on for many centuries, or blood sports has been a topic of hot debate. That's it. That's really it. It's just a simple sentence that starts off your topic. That's all you need there. Now, this one, the one I just said, is going to score band 5 because it's very, very simple. Of course, if you do some complicated vocabulary, maybe we can say blood sports is a practice that has brought mixed reactions from the public in the past. That might score me band 7 or 7.5. Or how about I say something even more complicated with better words, better grammar? I might create something like the the showcase of blood sports in sporting arenas worldwide has caused or has been the backbone of much conflict. Yeah, much conflict, period. That could be my general sentence as well. And that might score me a 9 because it has complicated vocabulary, complex words, and it looks like I can talk here. Now, according to my opinion, it's a bad activity, so in my opinion, it should not be done. The opposite of that opinion is that it should be done, right? That's where we're going to go to now. Second sentence is the opposing sentence where we will say the opposite of what we believe in. So the second sentence is going to say many people believe that blood sports is a good activity. And then third sentence, your opinion. However, in my opinion, it is a bad activity. Okay, so again, general sentence, then opposing sentence, and your opinion. Opposing sentence is some people think it's a good activity, and your opinion is that, in my opinion, however, it's a very bad activity. Sorry. Okay. Now, of course, that's also going to score band 5. Even the structure is good, but the vocabulary is weak. So, bad thing and good thing are not good words to use. Maybe we can say something like this in the opposing sentence. Maybe we can say some people believe that there are pros or benefits to blood sports, such as economic benefits and entertainment related reasons. However, or nonetheless, in my opinion or in my perspective, it would be very negative to have blood sports take the shape of a popular sport due to the brutality involved and due to the unethical nature of it. So of course you add some complicated words and you get more marks. One other thing I would like to point out here is many times when we mention our opinions and the opposing opinions, we don't give reasons. But as you can see in my band 9 example, in the advanced example that I'm doing, I'm giving reasons. I'm saying that, it's good because of entertainment and money, but it's bad because of immorality and brutality. So there are reasons there which are needed. It makes your intro that much better. So those are your 3 sentences, guys. Now, there's the fourth sentence, which is optional. You don't have to do it, but in case you want, because some teachers recommend it, some don't, but you can definitely go ahead and say this essay will discuss the positives and negatives. This essay will discuss 2 points against the idea of blood sports, or this essay will focus on 3 points for and against, whatever the kind of structure we have, we can use the sentence according to that. Once again, in the future videos we'll be doing, we're going to talk about the 4 different types of structures, and we will figure out which sentence is appropriate for each one of them, basically. Right now, considering that we're just doing a general, a foundation idea of task 2, we're just going to say something like, In this essay, I'm going to be touching, this essay will touch on two main points against blood sports, period. Okay, two main points against blood sports. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to talk against blood sports because I don't like blood sports. That is my opinion. In body one, I'm going to elaborate on one point, and in body two, I'm going to elaborate on the other point. Remember that this question that I initially said, it said, to what extent do you agree? So for these kind of questions, we do not need to mention the other side in the body paragraphs. We don't need to say why blood sports is good in body one and body two. We just need to say our opinion, which was blood sports is bad. Yes, in the intro, I said the opposing sentence should be there, which says blood sports is good, but it does not need to be in body one and body two. Okay, now before I go into body one and body two, I'll tell you guys a simple thing for the conclusion. There are two ways to do the conclusion, and both ways are okay. All right? The one way is to paraphrase, which means to say the same thing again in different words. So you have to paraphrase your intro into the conclusion. Whatever you have said in the intro, you can say the same thing in the conclusion. So you had three main sentences in the intro, say them again in the conclusion, but of course in different words, just like very different words, but keep the concept the same. Okay? This is one way of doing the conclusion. The other way of doing the conclusion is to have two sentences only. So in the first sentence, you start by something like to conclude, by way of conclusion, etc. Then you rephrase your opinion. Okay, so again, this is the second method of doing the conclusion, and I'm saying in the first sentence, you rephrase your opinion. Second sentence, you give any suggestion. Give any suggestion in the second sentence, and that's it. Those are your two sentences. By suggestion, I mean you can say something like in this case, we can say, therefore, blood sports should be banned in all the countries, and if any country does it, then there should be some penalty on it. Okay, that's it. That could be a very good solution. Just make sure you avoid things like we should stop blood sports. You know, don't be too general. Give a solution. Give something to implement. Okay, if we put penalties on countries who are conducting blood sports, then we are giving a solid solution that can be implemented. So always give a specific solution. All right, guys, so you can see intro and conclusion are not that hard to do. Let's go to the body one and body two, which are also not that hard to do. Each body should contain four main things. Okay, now this varies. This is different in different structures. Once again, in the four structures we're going to discuss in future videos, we're going to talk about exactly what goes in the body paragraphs. But again, just as a general idea, write down, please, four main things that go in your body. Number one, topic sentence. Number two, explanation. Number three, example. And number four, conclusion of the body. Okay, so let's get started. Let's say we're talking about blood sports, and there are 2 points that we want to focus on. One point is violence, and the second point is, let's say, what was it? Let's say it's unethical. So that's the second point. Okay. All right. Topic sentence. If you guys think about the first sentence of paragraphs that you see in newspapers, you see that in IELTS reading, the first sentence is always the main idea of the entire paragraph. So if you guys can tell the examiner in your first sentence what your paragraph is going to be about, that's what the examiner is looking for. That is called a topic sentence. So in this paragraph, I want to focus on the violence of blood sports. So what I'm going to say is, blood sports is a huge source, or is the generator of tremendous amounts of violence that is just inhumane, period. Okay, so I told the examiner that blood sports is a really bad thing because it creates violence in the first sentence. That's my topic sentence. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain it or elaborate it in the second sentence. So the best definition that I can give you guys is to think of explaining this concept to a 5-year-old kid. Okay, a 5-year-old kid doesn't understand why blood sports is violent. You gotta explain it in terms of uh, the why and how. So it's another key. You need to explain this concept in terms of the why and how. So ask yourself, why is it violent? And that's going to be your elaboration. Something like, as a result of blood sports, we kill animals, which is a barbaric thing. We also shed their blood, which is a painful activity, and this results in what we call violence. Perfect. You describe why it's violent. Now you go to your example. Okay? In your example, you just need to mention a real world fact. Now, be very careful here. I don't mean that when you say for example, you say for example in Spain there are bullfights going on and 1,000 bulls are killed every year. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Why? Because this kind of example is very specific. It talks about one country. Sometimes people talk about research has indicated. All these things are not good because this is another reason why people fail in IELTS. They go too specific. Don't be so detailed. Don't be so real life based. Also, don't say an example which is very general, and that's the other thing about examples. For example, you can just not say that, well, for example, blood sports is really bad because it's killing animals everywhere. Okay, that is also not a good example. It's very general. It doesn't show any effort. So don't be too general and don't be too detailed or specific. A good example would be something like this. For example, over the many centuries and even up till now, there are thousands of animals all over the world being killed in in the name of entertainment, and that is a constant source of pain that animals experience and individuals watch either live or on TV. Okay? Now, there are some real world things here. I'm saying over many years and people watching live, people watching on TV, but I'm not naming those people. I'm not saying how many years. I'm not saying over the past 100 years. So I'm not being that specific, but at the same time, I'm not being that general. And that's why it's a good example. This will qualify as a Band 9 example. So make sure it's a perfect balance. Finally, you need the conclusion of your paragraph or the finishing of your paragraph where you would say 2 or 3 beginning words. For example, you can say therefore, you can say thus, you can say hence, you can say consequently. All right, so now you're gonna sum up this whole idea and basically bring the examiner back to your thesis. By your thesis, I mean the opinion you had, which is that blood sports is bad, right? So we definitely focused on violence, but now let's bring the examiner back to why we said this. We said this to show that blood sports is a bad activity. So we're gonna say, consequently, blood sports and the violence it shows is detrimental or is negative for kids and even to affect the minds of adults all over the world, which is why it should be stopped, or which is why um, it's a terrible activity to look forward to. This way, the examiner now knows, okay, you were saying violence and all those things because you wanted to go against blood sports. Body 2 will be done the same way. Let's say I'm talking about some blood sports being unethical. Topic sentence. Blood sports is also, sorry, it should be like, furthermore, blood sports is also the cause of a very amoral activity. Elaboration. This is because the human code of conduct never allows us to kill living things or inflict pain, and by doing so, we are going against our code of ethics. For example, when we kill animals, we are killing them because they're inferior to us. we are showing a lack of care, and we are inflicting pain and enjoying it. If the same thing were done to same things were done to a human being, it would be considered unethical. So why not consider it unethical in terms of the animal kingdom? Period. Next sentence. As a result, because of the unhealthy and immoral activity that blood sports is, it needs to be considered a shame and should be looked at in a very negative light. Now your paragraph is done, and now you can go to your conclusion, rephrase stuff, and that's it. That's it, guys. That's your task 2. So make sure you guys play this video over and over again so you can understand the intro, body 1, body 2, and conclusion. This is the main foundation of task 2. Also, make sure to use some of the words that I used, and there are some more coming up. Once again, I sound like a broken record here, but I will be uploading the 4 main structures, 4 main types of task 2 that are really going to clarify your ideas about the entire structure that is needed. However, for today, start with this, practice some essays with this structure, and you will see a very stable pattern and a very, you will see progress. You will see a very similar pattern to those samples you see of Band 8 and Band 9 online. Okay, guys, a little bit about our company in the end. We are from HZad Education. I am the owner, and what we do is we teach English language IELTS classes, self-pip, self-band to people all over the world. We have the best costs and the best schedules anywhere in the market. We even offer you a guaranteed results package. So we have a very dynamic course, basically. You guys can visit our website, www.HZadeducation.com. The link is right up there on your screen and is in the description below as well. You will be able to see some of our testimonials. You'll be able to see our Facebook page, our class videos just like this one, and a lot more details that will help you make your decisions about your future courses with us. We always appreciate if you contact us, and we'll find the best package for you in terms of either a crash course or a year-long course, a 2-week course, whatever it is. And we will also be helping you guys out for free on YouTube with these sort of videos in the near future. And that's it, guys. Hope that I have given some valuable information to you guys, and hope that we make this learning process really easy and fun for you guys. Thank you once again. Please don't forget to like and comment, and also subscribe and turn on your YouTube notifications in order to receive more videos like this. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.